Thank you, Mr. Rahul Kapoor, for enlightening us all with the intricacies and use cases of geospatial for the urban sector. I would now like to welcome on stage our next speaker for the session, Shri D.N. Pathak, Director, Survey and Delhi Geospatial Data Center in the Survey of India. Shri D.N. Pathak is a surveying and mapping professional with extensive experience in projects like ICZN, CNPDI, mapping for PM Uday scheme, LSM, and Swamitwa using drones. May I please request Mr. Pathak to take over the stage now.
Thank you, Sakshi, and very good afternoon to all the delegates here in this hall and those who have joined us online. Today I have been asked, can you please switch on the presentation? Is it there? Okay. Okay. So, as you know, I have been asked to say a few words about geospatial technology supporting national program. In Survey of India as well as a part of DST, we have been producing data and supplying it to the various user agencies for developing further application. And as you know, last year in February 2021, DST came out with guidelines and it unleashed a level playing field basically for government as well as non-government sectors in geospatial domain, so that together we can provide the requisite data for various programs. As we know, the underlying theme for all the national programs, location information forms a very important vehicle for taking the programs of the Government of India forward. So, next page please. So, I have just divided my presentation into these 4 brackets. As you know, we are all aware that we belong to geospatial community, so I need not to elaborate how important location information is there, and we are all leaders in our own domain. And day in, day out, we are producing using geospatial data for different purposes. And we know that geospatial data has now become imperative for the government planning, for infrastructure development, social development, natural calamities, as well as economy. With more and more sectors such as agriculture, environment protection, power, water, transportation, health, heavily relying on this data. Now, liberalization, democratization of geospatial data and map, it has enabled an important step ahead to easily map, note changes to, and understand the complex interplay of social order and economic growth in more than 6 lakh villages and 7,000 cities of the country, featuring varied geography. Now, this guideline, which was issued earlier year 2021, it is a landmark decision. I'll say that we were inching towards our goal of creating a geospatial ecosystem where we all grow together and produce data for various requirements. Using bicycle as a vehicle, now we have been provided with an aeroplane to ride on and inch towards our goal. So that is what I see these guidelines have provided us. It has liberalized many regulations which were there earlier, inhibiting the creation of geospatial data, processing of data, and dissemination. So, features of the guideline, as you know, all of us are now aware. In past 14 months, we have been doing our business with these guidelines. So, the important features I would just like to remind you is we have now in the guidelines self-certification regime has been placed for approval and clearances. So earlier we used to, even in government also, as well as in the industry, we used to go to various government, like Ministry of Defense and security forces, for many of clearances, for even capturing data, processing data, or for dissemination of the data. So all those things have been done away with. Now only the concept of sensitive attributes for regulation. Only the attributes, sensitive attributes of the features are being regulated, and those have already been, a negative list of sensitive attributes have already been put on DST websites. So whosoever is producing data, he has to make sure that those sensitive attributes are not there in the data oblique maps or products, solution services he is producing. So it has been made so simple. Basically, for security purposes, we have to also have a kind of environment wherein our the important installations which are not supposed to be mapped. And so we have in the guidelines a provision that the installations which are in the outbound for the general public or you cannot access those areas using aerial space or territorial water route for mapping purposes. And as we know, the focus of the guidelines is basically of Indian entities and localization of map, several thresholds for mapping, ground truthing, for street view capture, territorial water survey, and regarding the data hosting on domestic clouds, all those things, safeguards have been put in. And as I have already told, that equal opportunity for government and non-government sectors and others have been provided. And the important thing is that it has provided a platform, and it envisages a platform wherein all government, everyone, all the stakeholders, whether it is government or private sector, they will collaborate in a manner so that we complement each other in provision of data, services, solution to various stakeholders. Follow-up actions, since the guideline was issued last year, many initiatives have been taken by DST as well as Survey of India to percolate basically the stipulations of the guideline to down the line, so that everyone start using that, taking benefits of that. So several stakeholders meets and industry conclaves have been conducted, and I will say that the industry has participated in a large way, and AGI has been leaders, and they have participated in various conclaves and industry meets which we are organized, which DST and Survey of India has organized, and we have together taken many decisions which is required for creating an environment for. And now the guidelines have been also shared with state government, UTs, government agencies involved in producing or owning maps, geospatial data using public funds for appropriate implementation in their field. Because many agencies in the government, state government, municipalities, they are creating data for their own requirement, a specific purpose, using public funds. So there has been an endeavor that all these data sets should be brought on a single platform so that there is no duplication or deduplication of data takes place. So that is one of the important aspects of these guidelines, and DST as well as Survey of India is working towards that, creating a platform wherein the data generated by various stakeholders can be brought on a platform and it can be used by all. As a part of this, a Geospatial Data Promotion and Development Committee has been constituted. It has members from government, academia, and industry. And time and again, whenever required, there is a point on which some clarification is required. This committee has constituted some technological committee, subcommittee, and legal committee. So we deliberate on those things and come out with a solution. And self-certification portal, as envisaged in the guideline, this has already been tested. Portal has been there for some time, and we have taken feedback from all the stakeholders. Based on that, we are just in the process of coming out with the final portal of self-certification, which will be there for registering for carrying out activity related to geospatial domain. National Geospatial Policy for comprehensive development of geospatial ecosystem in the country is under process. As you all know, it has been already circulated, and the comments from various stakeholders has been taken, and it is in the advanced stage of formulation. Now, it was important for us to get an idea about how these guidelines have impacted the businesses in the government as well as non-government sector. And DST has taken feedback from all stakeholders, including government and industry, to understand that how these guidelines have impacted them and what is the way ahead. So, as you know, we were all using, Survey of India. In Survey of India, we know that earlier there was, these days and earlier also, there was huge amount of data, maps and all. So we have had many forms, and those forms required to be filled, and then you have to wait for months to get the data. Now all those forms and restrict for getting the data and maps have been abolished. And now security clearance, which was earlier required, that is not there, and international boundary data, for which also you need to, anyone who is making maps and having international boundary in it, they need to go to Survey of India to get it certified. So that has also been done away with. Now the international boundary map is there on the Survey of India website. You have to just check it, and you have to just confirm it that it is in line with those international boundary which has been provided. Now, SOI products available to single window online portal, and few statistics I would like to share. That is 3-4 months back is statistics that maps and data available free of cost to government users at a fair price. Around 56 government and 7,000 plus private users registered on the portal, and there were more than 1,400 paid products downloaded and more than 50,000 free products downloaded. So this is possible only due to this new regime wherein the free access of the data is there. Earlier, as I told you, the purchase of data used to take 2-3 months. Now with the click of button on the portal, we can purchase the data. Then earlier, as you know, many of our, Meena Saab in the morning, he was telling that he has to spend years to get the security clearance for processing the data captured through aerial platform. Now, as you know, these clearances and all have been done away with, which earlier used to take 80 to 100 days. Now it has been stopped altogether. Then security vetting of the data. Once you capture the data, from aerial platform, you need to, raw data used to get cleared before you can carry on the further processing. Even pre-processing was not allowed if you have not got the security clearance of the raw data. So all those things have been now done away with. So the cycle of data capturing to producing geospatial products, solutions, and services, that has shrunk in a very big way. Now, whatever we capture, we can immediately process it and come out with the products and solutions and services required for the end users. As you know, there are allied government policies and rules which are required to be brought in sync so that the full potential of geospatial regulations, which have been, the geospatial deregulation, which was done earlier in 15 February 21, is realized, like drone rules, which has been modified, and the procedures for data capture using UAV platform has been simplified, and now capturing the aerial data is, a very easy process. Simplification has been done. Now the policy, space-based remote sensing policy, which is another policy which regulates this domain, is also under revision, and definitely it will be in sync with these two policy guidelines which has already been there, like drone policy as well as the geospatial guidelines. So comprehensive national geospatial policy formulation now is being done. And business model for data creation by SOI is getting changed. As you know, in the last 1 year, in a personal capacity also, I have been involved in many of the projects wherein we are roping in private players to carry out the job allotted to Survey of India for data creation, processing, and developing solutions and services. So I have seen enthusiasm in the industry. They are coming in a big way forward to work with Survey of India and government. So together we can, of course, in a collaborative, because you know the resources required for creating data in projects like Swamitwa, National Hydrology Project, National Mission for Clean Ganga, and many like Amrut, my previous speaker was telling, and smart cities projects, wherein geospatial data is a foundation layer on which everything has to be overlaid for decision making. So there is huge work, and we have to look to work together with industry to create the data, solution services for all these projects and schemes to realize their outcome and goals. Now, all infrastructure, as I have already told, the infrastructure projects need deploy survey teams for DPR. So in all the national, many of the national schemes, as you know, they have got a geospatial component, and I mean, directly or indirectly, location information is very important for economizing and optimizing the outcome of the schemes. So it is now government in various sectors, it has been impetus to use geospatial data, geospatial information in a big way, so that the final beneficiaries of the schemes can be identified, and then the delivery of those schemes can be made to them. Many deployment of high precision mapping in fields like agriculture, crop estimation, pest control, disaster management, smart city development, Gram Panchayat development and planning, cadastral mapping and large scale mapping. All these areas now there is a huge demand of geospatial data, and ultimately it has to, I mean, the private players, the industry has to come forward to fulfill those requirements. Now, on the technology landscape, we see the geospatial data and location research companies are now venturing into creation of, I mean, many of the companies, they are investing in creating digital twin of large cities by capturing images through drone technology. Guidelines have helped developing a real view of a long transport network through 360-degree panoramic image capture. Further, there are half dozen projects of similar nature in pipelines that can be completed in time with freedom and ease only because of these recent guidelines. And one of the important geospatial infrastructure project which has been undertaken by Survey of India, that is establishment of CORS. Lieutenant General Girish Kumar sir is there. It was his effort that this was conceptualized, and now it will be a landmark when this is fully unrolled in the country mainly. I mean, around 400 stations have already been established, and very soon Survey of India will be leveraging the platform to other players, industry, to use this data and carry on with their projects. So this is one of the very important geospatial infrastructure projects which has been undertaken by Survey of India. So ultimately, all the Indian entities are going to have access to these CORS system data for map making and producing geospatial data. Industry, we have taken feedback from industry also, and they have been very, I mean, in terms of availability of data, they, I mean, now, as I have already told, that the government has basically provided the platform wherein you can, without any further forms and all those things, you can take the data. So availability of data has now been very much, and removal of ambiguity. Business is willing to venture now, ease of doing business, which is the government's objective, so that many players can join in and work together with government for meeting the requirement of geospatial data in various schemes and programs of Government of India. Project worth 1,000 crore plus since last year, have been circulated. Many RFPs, empanelment RFPs from Survey of India and from various state governments are there, wherein they want to create geospatial data for various programs and schemes. And Swamitwa scheme, which is one of the flagship program of Prime Minister, and we know that it is being monitored at highest level, and Survey of India is, and as a implementing agency, is working with the industry to meet the timelines which was given to us, so that we can complete this scheme, map all more than 6 lakh Abadi areas of the country by 2024. So the speed of execution, which has been enhanced by 50% because of this, the 3D is becoming real reality, because earlier the data capturing 3D data capture, there were huge, requirements, clearance requirements which were there to capture the 3D data. Now it is becoming reality since the data acquisition has become easy for Indian companies. Thank you for giving a patient hearing. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.